how to turn your raw n8n workflows into full-fledged AI systems. Let's be honest, nobody wants to interact with your n8n workflows, click on that execute workflow button, and no non-tech person, business person would want to interact and open up your n8n workflows. So how would you go about offering an end-to-end, complete, comprehensive solution to your clients? That's what this video is all about. How to leverage n8n as your backend service. So you have your workflow ready. You want to build a front end, and Lovable is a great tool to build that front end on top of your backend. That backend is going to be provided to you by your n8n workflow. So I have picked two very interesting use cases which are very practical and people need it on day zero. So let's dive in and see how you can connect n8n and Lovable to offer your complete full stack AI solutions. Alright, so the first use case that we have at hand is the lead management workflow. This is very useful for service-based companies. If I have a video editing agency, AI automation agency, or SEO agency, this is going to be a great automation to serve as an offering for you guys who know how to automate these systems, how to create these types of solutions using n8n and Lovable. Now, I have a lead management workflow over here. These service-based agencies, which are trying to offer some sort of service to their clients, to their users, when any visitor comes onto their website, they have this inquiry form that they ask people to fill. It looks something like this: full name, email, tell us about your budget, project requirements, and things like that. Now, currently, there needs to be a team at the back end that handles and manages all the incoming leads with their inquiries. And they look at each one of them based on their budget, based on their requirements, and then they pass forward. How big ticket size projects obviously get prioritized, and the smaller ticket size projects are later in the pipeline. Now, this workflow automates that entire process. Let's quickly understand what this n8n workflow over here does. If you want to, first of all, learn this, how to build this step by step and how I built it, there's a video, n8n crash course on my channel. It's like 2-hour long video. I cover this use case step by step in that entire video. So I covered this particular workflow as one of the lessons, one of the workflows in that entire course. Great. So this workflow triggers when somebody fills up a form. So currently this gets triggered when I click on execute workflow. A new form opens up and people are required to fill up this form: full name, email, budget, requirements. And the second step is, no matter what their budget or requirement is, we want to capture their details. So we capture their details in this Google Sheet. You can capture their details in maybe Airtable or Supabase, whatever database you are using, or any CRM if you want to store their data in a CRM. Then we filter out leads with a budget of 100 to 1000. So there are 3 slabs in this form. If you look at this form, I have 3 slabs within budget: 100 to 1000, 1000 to 3000, 3000 to 5000. Obviously, big ticket size projects are going to get prioritized. We are not interested in catering to $100 to $1000 projects. Let's say this is the use case. So first of all, we filter out 100 to $1000 use cases. Then we have a switch node. The switch node defines what type of email is going to get sent to our potential client based on their budget. So the lead is going to get different email based on their budget. This is the email that you get. In the switch node, we have already defined this rule. If your budget is 1000 to 3000 US dollars, this one, then you come here and this is the email that you get: we have received your inquiry, we'll give you a call later this week. And if your budget is 3000 to 5000, then you get this particular email. So this is, we have received your inquiry, we are interested in learning more about how we can help, and we send them our calendar link as well, and then we get notified that somebody has filled up a form, and if you want to override any action or send more details, we can do that. Currently this is getting triggered with this form submission. I want this n8n workflow to be triggered through my Lovable application. This is my portfolio website. I've created this like a sample website for Agentivise, an AI automation agency, and add an inquiry form to the website under the pricing section with the following fields: So based on the structure that I have here on form submission, I have created a form, and obviously this form is not functional. If I click on submit inquiry, it doesn't go anywhere at the moment. Now we need to make it work. So how do I connect my Lovable with my n8n workflow? Let's look at that. First of all, I am going to remove this on form submission node. Instead of on form submission, we are going to add something called as on webhook call. So this runs the flow on receiving an HTTP request. Now, when I'm going to click on submit inquiry, I am going to be sending it to a particular address. That request is an HTTP request, and that request contains all the details of my lead, the name, email, and all of those things. This request with all the data is going to go to an address, which is this webhook address. So this webhook call is going to give us an address to send that request to. And as soon as this webhook receives that request, it's going to trigger our workflow. So let's add that. This is, you can see, this is our webhook right here. Now open up the webhook and we are going to customize it here. There are multiple different types of HTTP methods. When you want to extract something, when you want to get something from the server, get something from the data, when you want to retrieve something, then you send a GET request. And if you want to post something, in this case, I am sending data. I'm the user, whosoever is on the website is basically filling up this form and sending us this data, name, email, and other things. So this is going to be a post request. So this webhook, this address is going to receive a post request from our Lovable website. And you can see they've given us this test URL as well. So here the path is defined by them and you can change this path. I can say that this is, let's say, agent device inquiry. Okay. Now you can see the path, the URL has changed. I can click on this. I've copied the URL. Authentication. Currently we don't need to authenticate anybody. Respond. We'll leave it to immediately. We don't want to change anything else for now. Great. So this is connected. As soon as this receives a request, the workflow will start working. Okay, it'll start running. Now configure this form that we have just added with this URL that we have copied. Configure the lead inquiry form to send a post request to the following URL, or you can say simply webhook, which will further trigger an automation to store all the required details. So that's it. We don't have to listen to the response. So the response is not going to come. So we can mention that as well. You don't have to wait for the response. We can configure it later. Like we can send, currently the workflow will start working and it will just send us an email. It is ending at this point where the team, let's say I am the owner of agent device, so we'll basically get an email that we have received an inquiry. That's it. But we can add another message here that, you know, the request has been submitted or something like that. We are just telling Lovable that you don't have to wait for the response. After submitting, show the user successful request submitted. So this is webhook, and then I am going to, this is our URL. So this is the prompt that we have added onto Lovable with our n8n webhook URL. That's how simple it is. I just copied the webhook URL, provided it to Lovable. The builder is going to just make this form functional for us and it should start triggering. Okay, so this is done. Now I'm going to click on execute workflow here. Now this webhook is listening because we have added test URL. We have not used production URL. So every time we want to like test, we'll have to first click here and then we'll check our form. So let's say I want to add details, Harshit Tyagi, work.harshit@gmail.com. Then I'll select my budget, let's say $1,000 to $3,000. I'll write, I want to automate UGC ads. Okay, and then I'll click on submit inquiry. You can see here, our workflow has started to run successfully. This is my workflow. So it got triggered. It failed at this point. Let's understand what we got. These are all the details, and I'm getting full name, email, budget, requirements, and all these things. I'm sure the error that we're getting is because of these details and the keywords that we are fetching. If I check here, my detail, so the names, as I can see, then this has not been captured correctly. So obviously we'll have to make some changes in our lead management workflow, the details that we were fetching. So currently, like, this is configured as per the form submission details. So let's quickly change this. Date, we can just capture directly dollar. Now this is going to capture the date. Then full name, if I want to capture full name, we can just now start using this particular field, all of this. So this is my email, this is my budget, this is my requirements, this is done. And there is this field, there's this should we call column that I have in my Google Sheets. There's this formula that I've added. If the budget is 100 to 1000, we just mention false. We don't have to call them. We don't have to send them an email. That's it. So I've updated this. We'll have to update the following details as well, following nodes. So json.budget. Let's change this as well. So I'm getting like budget from here. This is working. This is going to perform fine. In switch node, this is capturing budget from here. So we'll use the budget from the filter itself. This is good. So switch should now work. We'll have to change this. To whom do we want to send? So let's run quickly. This is going to filter. This is going to be switch node. Within switch node, now we have this data. So from webhook, we can fetch the email to whom we want to send. So this is the email, and then full name is going to get added here. We'll capture the full name, drag and drop here, and that's it. This is the first email, the second email, same thing. We'll have to capture. This is going to get run when we have to. I'll just copy this field from here and add it here, and similarly for the full name as well. These are all the keys, by the way. If you don't know how to work with n8n, I recommend that you watch the n8n course on my channel. That's going to like guide you in a structured manner how to build these workflows. Great. Then we have merge. Merge is going to be straightforward. Then we have this name. This is the name. We'll get email here. We'll get requirements here. We got budget here. All right. Let's test it again. I'll click on execute workflow. So the webhook is listening. Let's go down to our inquiry form, add a name. I'll add a different name this time. Mike Joe, let's say. Email should be mine so that I can show you the email that we are getting. .com, select the budget 1000 to 3000. And let's say I want to automate UGC ads. Submit inquiry. This has started to run. Let's see. Great. So workflow has successfully run. Let me see if I have got the email with me. And there you go. I have Agent Advice AI. So we have received your inquiry. We'll call you later this week. And in the leads, Mike Joe worked the email, and then my budget, I want to automate UGC, and that's it. So we've now connected n8n workflow with our website, and this will, again, like, this is going to solve for all the service-based companies, the number of visitors that you get. And you can solve it for like a lot of people, a lot of different types of businesses, gyms, hotels, appointments, wherever appointments are required, doctors, dentists. You can build the system, help them integrate this form through n8n, connect them, and build that like entire website as well on Lovable. So this is what the lead management workflow can allow you to do. Let's move on to the next use case where you can actually add a customer support bot onto a D2C brand, or maybe in a similar service-based company as well. The second system that we are developing here is a customer support bot, which needs to be deployed on a D2C brand's website. I am building this for D2C brand. You can build it for any other type of business where they get a lot of customer support tickets. I have an n8n automation here. This is an AI agent. Again, if you want to like learn this, watch the course. I'll walk you through this agent, what it does, how it is working. The customer support bot for a brand like Sleepy Owl. Now, I am going to build this for Sleepy Owl. It's a coffee brand in India, and they get a lot of customer support tickets about where my delivery is, what's the refund policy, I want to return this, all sorts of different types of inquiries. Now, currently, all of these D2C brands need to have huge teams to cater to all of these incoming support requests. And we want to deliver that value, that information to those users right there on the website, so that 80 to 90% of all of those tickets where people are just asking similar questions, where my delivery is, what's the refund policy, return policy, all of those things should be solved right there on the website. The thing is, those responses cannot be generic. Those responses need to be as per the guidelines, as per the data that we are fetching from the backend. This needs to be a retrieval, augmented, generated, enabled, that is RAG enabled AI agent. It should fetch the guidelines, the terms of service from our policy documents, and then respond to the users who are asking questions. So how do we do that? This workflow does exactly that. I have a webhook already added, so you now know how to add a webhook. So this is what this webhook looks like. And here you can see I have no authentication. In the respond method, earlier you saw that I kept it at immediately, but this time I'm using respond to webhook. So I am going to send a request from my Lovable website through this chatbot that we're going to add now. And that chatbot is going to receive a respond as well. So I'm also using this respond to webhook. It responds with text with the output of the AI agent. And what does this AI agent do? If you see, this is the complete system prompt. This AI agent is going to work as Kelly at Sleepy Owl. You are a customer support agent for Sleepy Owl, trained to handle customers' request inquiries and concerns with professionalism, empathy, and efficiency. And then task specification. Read and analyze. Use the customer support knowledge base. I have added a knowledge base, all of these policy documents. So I created this random policy document which contains order, payment, shipping, policy, all of these different types of information. So I have, for example, returns and exchanges. Okay, what is the policy around that? Who pays for return shipping? All of these details have been captured in this policy document that I've already uploaded in our vector database. So we are leveraging this customer support knowledge base. This is a question answer tool. So if you see, I have something called as question answer tool, vector store question answer tool. This is what I'm using. This tool leverages a vector database. I am using a Pinecone vector database here. So the policy document that you see here, this has been fed. I created embeddings of this document. I stored those embeddings in this Pinecone vector store, and that Pinecone vector store contains those embeddings, and based on the incoming request from the user, that gets embedded, and then we see which embeddings are similar, and then based on the similar embeddings, we fetch the most relevant piece of text from this policy document. We use this OpenAI chat model. So the large language model that we're using is OpenAI's GPT 4.1 mini. We're using simple memory because all of these details need to be stored as well. In a particular session, we'll have to maintain what was the previous question that the user asked. So we'll go into all of these details, but this is our RAG enabled customer support bot that we have here. And let's see how to actually connect it to our Lovable application. Let's start adding a customer support bot to our Sleepy Owl website. Add a customer support bot called Kelly, which should be an floating icon at the right bottom corner fixed to the page. Users should be able to click on this bot icon and it should open up a chat with a complementing theme to our website, and they will be able to send inquiries and chat with the bot. All user messages are going to send a post request. So this is my webhook. I have a post request at this test URL. All user messages are going to send a post request to this URL. Instead of URL, I should say to this webhook URL, and will receive a response from the same webhook. So wait for the response. Most of the times, large language models usually send the response in Markdown format. So parse the Markdown text response and display it nicely in the chat. This is my prompt to configure to add a bot onto our website. Let's quickly hit enter. So here I've just specified everything. I've given it all the details that it needs to add a chatbot and to also configure it with our n8n workflow. All right. So you can see I have a bot added at the right bottom corner. And if I click on this, hi, I'm Kelly, your Sleepy Owl coffee assistant. How can I help you today? So now if I send a request, it should trigger my workflow here. But currently you can see this workflow is inactive. When the workflow is inactive and I have used a test URL, so I'll always have to click on execute workflow and then send a message. If I want to, first of all, when we are testing, we are going to work with this configuration. We can later on move it to active and then we can provide the production URL. Let's see how this works. So I'll just send hey first of all. Let's see if this gets triggered. Okay. So I need to change my configuration and also the hashes. This is fine. Error in subnode simple memory. Okay. Yeah. Webhook.item session ID. And in the webhook we are okay. So you can see that the simple memory, this simple memory in our AI agent, this stores the session details. So all the conversations that we are having with this Kelly chatbot, that chat session should get saved so that LLM has all the context about what the conversation has been so far. Another one small change that we'll have to make here, which we didn't ask Lovable to do, is we need to add this session ID. Add a session ID to the chat such that we are able to preserve context of the conversation with the chatbot. So this is what we want to implement, and this should start sending a response, a session ID field in the webhook. So let's just wait for it to, let's test again. Not sure if it would now start sending. Execute workflow. I am going to send another message. Let's say hey. Okay, so session ID, and you can see, hello, how can I assist you with Sleepy Owl today? Now, the question that I want to ask is, what is the return policy? Okay, and I'll open up the document here for you. So this is the return policy, and I should get the response grounded in their policy. So I bought coffee from the website and it is delivered in a bad condition. Want to return it. What is the policy around that? Now this is my question, complete question. I'll hit enter. Sorry, I'm having, okay. So you see, I didn't click execute workflow here. So execute workflow, and I'll just copy this entire thing again and then hit enter. And this time RAG should get enabled. You can see customer support knowledge base. It goes into Pinecone, will frame the response, and let's check the response and compare it with the policy that we have at hand. Okay. So I'm sorry to hear that your coffee was delivered in bad condition. If this issue is due to an error on our part, such as this. Okay. This means you won't have to pay for return shipping. Great. And now if you see, just focus here. Please start the return process within 30 days of receiving the coffee by contacting our support through your account. Make sure to provide details about the issue. So here itself, return within 30 days. So it has captured all of these details, and then for shipping detail, you don't have to provide like shipping info. So shipping payment, that also has been captured. Let's try it out with some other. What all payment methods do you support? Let's see. So let's turn it to active now. Let's turn it to active, and I am going to use the production URL. Copy this, configure the chatbot to send requests to this webhook URL now. Configure the chatbot to send requests to this, I'll say, new webhook URL now. We'll test it out with an active condition so that we don't have to click on execute workflow every single time. Okay, this is done. I am going to refresh the page once. And now I don't have to click on execute workflow. Let's quickly start testing. I'll be able to see all of the executions here. So let's see what all payment methods can I use. So I don't want to use exact same phrase. Let's see, payment methods. Great. So you can see now I did not click execute workflow. If you check executions from here, you will be able to see that there was an execution with this same request, and here AI agent got this request. What all payment methods can I use? And I'm also getting the session ID, timestamp, and all these other details. And the response: Sleepy Owl credit card, debit cards, Visa, MasterCard, American Express. Okay, and this is what is mentioned here: PayPal, Apple Pay, all these things. And that's it. That's how simple it is to basically connect your n8n with your Lovable. I would spend more time to make this chatbot look more appealing. I'll add some screenshots, what a great chatbot should do. We'll add all of those different types of details. I can further, if I want to make this bot more capable, then I'll have to make changes to my agent here. So I can add another tool which should be able to capture the order details. So if most of these D2C brands are selling through Shopify, so you can capture their Shopify order. If they're asking where my order is, when will this be delivered? So you can fetch that order details, track that, and provide the user with the information. All of those details can be, all of those types of features and requests can be solved right there on the website. And that solves a lot of problems for these brands. So yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned how to connect your n8n workflows with Lovable and how simple this is. That's it for now. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Don't forget to like this video, comment, subscribe to the channel to see more of such content.